I am super excited about the upcoming reunion between Irene Belsirion and Erza Scarlet, and for a second I honestly thought we were going to get that next chapter, because we have Irene noticing Erza from far away with her all-seeing eye. There's this eye in the sky with some weird cross that can see everything. It's gigantic, and I guess that has something to do with the whole reconstruction spell. But upon spotting her, Erza, with that scarlet hair, she snapped back into reality, so I figured like maybe it's next week's chapter we're going to get a reunion between them. She'll put an end to the king and princess because there's literally nobody there to defend them at all. Of course, the princess was turned into a mouse, and Arcadion couldn't really do anything about it because he's Arcadion, you know what I mean? Like, what can Arcadion really do? I think I said his name wrong, it's Arcadios or something, but point is he's super irrelevant and unnecessary. Like, I thought he was more threatening upon his introduction when we thought he had an allegiance to Zeref, but no, his character took a big fat L alongside all the guards, so there's nobody there to defend the king and the princess of Fior. Not like it's really Fior anymore, it's just a mesh of all of these different lands around this area put together, which I guess is Fior, but it's not like the original land that they once ruled. And so I thought Irene was either going to finish them off or just leave them there so that she can go out there and confront Erza. Erza's currently unconscious. She had that grueling fight with Nineheart, and now she's on the backs of Gray and Juvia. They just met up with Natsu and them. All the while, simultaneously, Irene's squad, Juliet and Hein, decide to go and fight Makarov and Mirajane. At first, they were going to split up and each fight their respective opponent, but then they were like, nah, fuck it. Let's just, like, team up against Mirajane. And I'm like, that's not cool. You know, Mirajane could probably take those two on, but why you gotta give her more trouble? I mean, it's all Makarov's fault at the end of the day. Fuck Makarov. Makarov is always, like, responsible for everything that goes wrong in Fairy Tail and just in the world in general. Like, he kind of destroyed the guild just a little while back, so if anybody deserves two opponents right now, it's him. And then we finish on the note that the following chapter is going to be entitled The Elder Sister and Younger Sister, and I'm here tired reading the chapter. I still look a little bit tired, you can tell by my eyes. I don't know what I was thinking, but for a second I thought Irene and Erza were sisters. One is the older sister, one is the younger sister, and then next week's chapter is going to be the reunion, but no, it's clearly referencing Zeta's call to everybody in Fairy Tail, like, go and save Mavis because she's currently about to get ass raped by Zedith, and that's what we're probably going to get next week's chapter, which is a little weird because, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like that shit. I don't like the fact that Zedith is there with Mavis right now. He could easily take her out, and now because Mavis's life was reinstated due to Kana using the fairy glitter and all that shit, she's basically here now temporarily as some sort of a spirit illusion. She manifested out of Mavis's, like, form. Like, the fact that she came back allows Zera to come back temporarily. It's really weird. I don't like the fact that she's temporarily conveniently here to tell everybody to go out there and save Mavis from Zeref's grasps when Zeref is already there. Like, if they all end up spoiling Zeref's plans because Zera is temporarily here to warn everybody and they all come there and they start roasting Zeref, I'll be like, are you serious, bro? Like, I don't know if Mavis is going to die here. I believe that, yes, Mavis should technically die here if Zeref's goal is to kill her because Zeref is already there. He clearly has enough time to talk shit to her, to do her in, and to get exactly what he wants from here. Like, he clearly has more than enough time to do that before everybody shows up in front of him. And to quickly address something here, a lot of you guys were telling me this was a shitty chapter before I went out and read this, so that's why I didn't want to do a live reaction. I didn't want to rave on this week's chapter. Though, of course, people are not happy about the fact that Gajeel is here now after that whole conclusive fight with Bradman where people thought he was going to die. I didn't think that he was going to die permanently, but I thought he was going to be gone longer than this, of course. Due to Irene using the reconstruction magic simultaneously as Bradman is dragging Gajeel into the underworld, it saved Gajeel, so he got super freaking lucky, and now he's on Tenro Island talking to Zera. She was honestly being really awkward there, and I expect that from her. Like, if you actually followed Fairy Tail Zero, this is going to make a lot more sense to you, the personality of her, how she actually exists, because here's the thing, even in Fairy Tail Zero, there was a time when she was actually a spirit and she actually died, and people were like, what the fuck? So Hero actually does have ways of explaining this. It's all legit. I just don't like the way it was executed, and I felt like it could have been executed a lot better. First of all, Gajeel should have stayed down longer. I'm not saying that he should have permanently been dead, but I feel like at least another 10 chapters before he reappeared. Let's say Irene did grant him that plot armor. Okay, that's cool. Like, let him stay alive, whatever, but don't let him get involved now in the foiling of Zeref's plans after we have this conclusive ending of how he's going to die. But to all the people hating on this this week's chapter calling bullshit, it's not actual bullshit. It makes perfect sense why it happened this way. I'm gonna be honest when I say, while I support Gajeel still being alive, and I like the explanation of Irene countering Bradman's spell, it makes perfect sense. This is why Zeref was worried, because he didn't know how things were going to turn out. He was sweating, so yes, this is legit. As much as I like Zera, I don't really want her to be here right now, and I don't know, it's a little weird that she just shows up temporarily because Mavis is now back. It's like, it's a little weird, like, I'm here now because Mavis is back, but once she remembers me, I will vanish. You know what I mean? I just don't want them all foiling Zeref's plans when he's right there in front of Mavis. But if he gets what he wants and Mavis potentially dies and then they're all in a rage, specifically Natsu, like, that would be perfectly understandable. Like, I would support that. And oh boy, if Mavis actually dies, that would be amazing hero from writing. And if Natsu goes in because of that and he starts roasting Zeref, lights this dude on fire, yes, 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 I would love to see something like that, because Natsu lost the first fight against Zeref in this arc. Can't really say that he lost the fight completely because he did flee, but he clearly, like, if they continued fighting, Zeref would have won. Still though, this would be the perfect opportunity to not only give Natsu a kick-ass reason to kick ass, obviously to kick Zeref's ass, but revenge for Igneel, son, revenge for Igneel. It's ass clobbering time. So to me, this was an average fairy tale chapter. I didn't like the beginning, but I absolutely loved the middle, because Irene is slowly becoming one of my favorite characters, and she seems cruel as fuck. Like, I'm starting to understand why, if she is Erza's mother, she's a shitty mother. She said something in this week's chapter that really foreshadows the fact that she's either a sociopath, a psychopath, a combination of those two things, or just a sadistic ass person. And obviously, you can't assume that all of Fairy Tail's gonna go out there and kick Zeref's ass when Irene is still on Zeref's side and she is completely loyal to him. Like, she probably has the power to wipe out most of Fairy Tail in the same way that August does, but we can't really trust August to fight on Zeref's side now that Brandish is doing the convincing, obviously. When we saw her deal with all of the guards and she was there psychologically torturing the king and she turned the princess into the mouse, you can clearly tell that there's something inside of her that is very messed up. She was telling the king, like, do you still love her? Do you still love her now that I turned her into a mouse? Do you still love her in that form? And I was like, hold on for a second. You just turned the princess to a mouse in front of the king's eye. So is he just gonna say, fuck the mouse? No, that's still his daughter, right? So he's still going to care about her. So why are you throwing a bitch fit that the king still cares about the daughter? Like, hey, you still care about the daughter? I turned her into a mouse. Like, that pathetic form, you still care about her? Well, I'll kill you all now that you care about her. I don't know, she seemed pretty genuine detecting Erza and the Scarlet Hair. Like, she probably does want to have a reunion with Erza, but if we need some hints as to what type of a mother she is, I mean, she ended up fighting for Zeref in the first place. Like, if she gave birth to Erza and she ended up in the Alvarez kingdom, that's already a clear sign that she's fucked up. But when she was trying to be objective and she turned the princess into a mouse and she was trying to, like, psychologically torture the king, I was like, are you serious? Like, why are you here doing this? And what's the point of this? Is this really necessary? I don't know. I don't think that she's just terrible. I think that she's probably two-faced. She has multiple personalities and there's a good side to her, but oh boy, is there an evil side to her. So I enjoyed this chapter, but there's definitely some grievances there, and so I can't really say this is a good chapter. I would say probably mid to average chapter.